this tutorial, we're going to look at creating this clamp down here. So I'm going to start with the lower portion. So we start with a isometric part file, and I'm going to create this in synchronous. So to start with, we will do a circle by center and click on this plane to lock it, and I'm going to start with a 39 diameter and then change that to a 45 to position those points in there. I shall also need to have a line just below center that comes down like so and then forms a tangent. So you look for the tangency symbol, and then I'm going to just use the extend to next to take that across. So click twice, and from here I can add some dimensions. So smart dimension from there to the axis, and I'm going to make this 34. Same with that to here. The distance here is 1.5. So I'll dimension the circles, and then we'll add another circle in here. So this one needs to be 5. So that's the inner circle, so it's got to be tangent to here. So if I just touch on it, you can see that we've got the tangency as well as the alignment to the center. And then if I just delete that figure there, I can start again, draw from the center of that original one, go into the tangency on the other one, and that sort of builds our profile, as you can see. So now I can use the trim command. This will only work within a locked plane. So we can just delete the portions that we don't need and get rid of that as well. So that gives me my profile. Unlock the plane and then escape out. I can pick on the region, and then that then goes in both directions. If you don't get that, hit the shift key and that'll change it in one direction or the other. So I want to go equal distance and make that 15. So from here I'm going to draw another sketch. So lock the plane again, F3. So I'm going to draw, actually before I do that, I'm going to add in a round. Change this to edge or corner, and this wants to be 3mm, like so. So go back to drawing my line here, front plane, F3. From there, Control H takes me through there, and I'm just bringing it up to that end of the arc. So as you can see, I want to have this solid, so I want that to be on the edge. So if I go to my sketches, click on there, I can then use my steering wheel just to drop that out to a point on here, so it's the end, and that way it gives me a region in here. So if I just click on that, and it's going to remove, just hit the shift key to take off that piece. So this needs to be 3.6 in. So then I'm going to retrieve that sketch there, restore it, and then I'll just move it to the other side. I need to make sure design intent is off, otherwise it will try and pick up on these matching faces. So drop it in on there, and then as I rotate this around, that gives me the region on the other side. and that comes in 3.6 as well. So now we have a hole that I need to place into here. So if I go into my settings here, this needs to be an 8mm hole. And I'll make it downsize, go OK. Just lock the plane, Control F for front view, and then I can just dimension that. And that needs to be 27.5. Make sure that the arrow is pointing to change the hole, which it should do anyway because I've dimensioned to the coordinate system, which can't move anyway. And this one is going to be 8.5. And then we have a cutout on this face here as well. So if I just do a circle by center, unlock the plane, relock it to this one, Control H. So just hover over there and it'll keep that alignment. And this needs to be 5mm diameter and 9 down. So if I place a dimension on here, I can position that as required. That needs to be locked. And it's not letting me because I've got another relationship on here, so I'm just going to click on that and delete that. So again, as I say, if I lock it, it now goes red to show me that I can change that value and make that 9. So from here, if I use the line command, I'm just going to start a point on here. That's going to be tangent. Right mouse click to start again. And then I can use the trim command to delete this portion here. Unlock the plane, rotate around. I can pick up on this region here and come back. So I'm going to make this just go through the back, so 11 on there to finish that. So now I'd like to add some rounding, so I'm just going to put that into ordered. Keeps the faces on here nice and defined. So I'm going to start with these two here. I want to make them 1mm, and then from there I'm going to put in a 0.25. So from here I'm going to choose all rounds and all fillets. So you can see where it's picking up those extra ones. And that completes the first part, so we'll save that, Control S, and call that lower clamp. So next we need to create the upper portion, so Control N for a new file, and we want to go into an isometric part again. And this is obviously very similar, so we'll start, lock the plane, Control H, and 39 diameter, 45. Then we'll go with a 5mm. Delete out the value so we can start and just come straight out to that point there. Then this time we're going to go slightly above the line. And take that as tangent as well. So again, extend to next. Pause that in. And we can use the trim command so we can just sketch over areas that we're not interested in. Get rid of those two and that one, and that pulls that together as we had before. I'm going to put a fillet on this time, so we'll go 3, and by putting the value in we can just click on a point to get that in. So you'll see that it's extended that down as well. So let's close this out and escape out, hit the region, and this needs to be symmetric, so hit the shift key, 15. So from here we need a gap in the middle, so let's just draw a line on this plane here, locking that to there. So again we'll come up to that intersection point, and we can use the project to sketch section here and trim away the pieces that we don't want. So then if I go to extrude, change that to chain, change this to cut, pick up on that, accept it, and this wants to be 8mm wide. So again, I'm going to draw a circle by center, and I'm going to just choose that top plane to draw on, and this one needs to be 10 diameter. So just type that in, make sure we get to the midpoint and place that in, and then smart dimension that. So 27.5. Which isn't working well because we haven't dimensioned the side there, so we can sort of put that in as well. So we can go that face, sorry, smart dimension, that's 34. So as you can see, we've got that sitting in there, but it's in the wrong place. So we'll go back to our sketches, escape out the dimension tool, click on there, and we can move that up so that sits on a level with this point here. So now if I add some lines in off here, I can just drop that out to here. And trim away the piece that we are not needing. So that pulls that round like so. So again, we'll go with extrude, and I can just choose this profile here inside, and we want to turn off the symmetry, and we want to make it cut away. So that gives me that there. So then we need a 5mm slot as well. So again, I shall start with a circle by center. Type in the size. I can get straight to that point there. And then I can just place my lines to run out. To there. You don't need to take away the other portion, so if I want to remove this, I can click on there, hold the control key down and pick the other region as well, and then just drop that down through. So that completes this part, apart from the radii. So again, we'll just go into ordered and go round, all rounds, all fillets. That's just coming in here, and we'll leave it 0.2, so we'll accept that. And we'll save this as upper clamp. So from here, let's start the assembly. So I'm just going to close this one down. We'll start with this as being the base feature. So if we go up to the command here and go new assembly of active model, that will put that into the assembly and ground it as the base feature. So obviously there's been a change in there, so I just need to change that. So as you can see, that's pulled that in. We can then go to our parts library, and we've got the upper clamp, and we'll drag that in. And I'm going to use flash fit, so I just want to take the axis of that to match to the axis of this. And then in here, I'm going to use a center plane command, so I've got it set to double, so 2 faces on each side, and then choose the 2 on here, so it's just going to center it based on those faces there. So as you can see, that's now positioned. I'm not going to lock it down any further. If I wanted to, I could go in and lock the rotation on here, and that would force that to be positioned. So we have a couple of other parts sort of pre-made. So just a simple washer. So that's going to sit on. So if you just hover over, that will allow the Pickwick to come in, and that positions that part. And then in the parts library, I'm going to bring in the cap screw. So again, we can use the relationships, and I just want to flip that. And take that to touch on there and finish that. So we've got a couple of extra pieces that we need to put in. We need a dowel here and a retaining pin in here. So if we go Control N for a new file, isometric part, and this is going to be real simple. So just circle by center, 5 diameter, click on the region, hit the shift key to go symmetric, and this needs to be 15, and then we can just add the rounds on the ends and save this. Close that down, and then go into our parts library, I can pull that in. So again, axis and plane. So flash fit is real quick in here. And obviously we need to do this one in here, so it's an 8 diameter pin. So Control N for a new part. Similar to what we did before. 8 diameter. 15 long. And I'm going to add the rounds. And then finally I'm going to put a 4mm tapped hole in here. So if we go to our hole command, choose on our preferences and choose threaded. And we just need to scroll up. And for to hole extent, and change it to through all, go OK. So one trick you can do here, you can see it sort of rolling around on there. If we hit the F3 key, we can sort of position it directly on the top. And then if we go to our Control H, we can sort of just position that right in the middle nice and accurately. And Control S to save this. Give it a name. And we can then sort of position that into our assembly using the parts library. So lock pin, just drop it out into space somewhere. That way we are not worried about any conflicting geometry. And I'm just going to leave it at that stage now. So that sort of completes. So let's now create a drawing of this. So if we go new drawing of active model, that takes me straight into the draft environment, and you want to make sure that your drawing view creation wizard is set. So when you come in, it will automatically come up with a view. I'm going to choose a different view. I want to go with the front view as the first one. So I can drop that in there. If it's not the right size, you can use the scroll wheel to change it. So I will place a couple of views on here. And I want the isometric as well. Actually, I will add in a side view as well. So we go with principal view, and we can click on that one and just bring it off to the side. So these are all linked, and as you can see, they are aligned to each other. I'll also put this over here and go into the options and choose to make it shaded. When you see a grey box around it, it means that the view is out of date. You can either go to update views or right mouse click and go update, and that will update the view. So I'm just going to move this over a fraction, and same with these. And then from here I'm going to go to parts list, select the drawing view, and then I can place this in. So I can go into properties, and I want to remove author. So I'll delete that column. I could add in extra ones if I wanted to. And location, I want to have it located by bottom right. And I should be able to pick up off here. So if you're not picking up off the background sheet, you can go in and turn that on. So I'll just place that there. And from here I can come in and just, if I double click it, I can then sort of just resize it so that it fits a lot nicer in that space. And if I want to, I can just drag these around a little bit So see that they stay linked to the scope. I can also click on here and I can sort of reposition this if I want to get a better position in where they are sitting. So that's the sort of general assembly. I can go in and create a new sheet. This one's coming at A2 rather than A3, which is my preference. So I can go to the background sheet. If I wanted to, I could change the size first, but I'm just going to go background sheet, and when you change it here, it'll actually change the sheet size for you by default. So it uses my standard sheet. So I'm going to go to View Wizard. I want to just create a drawing of just the lower clamp. Rather than doing it from the assembly, I'm going to just create it from its original file rather than from the assembly. So if I go lower clamp and go open, and as I said, you can scroll it to fit, so I'm just going to place it in here somewhere and create my other views as I want to. So I always like to have an isometric. This one is separate, so if we wanted to, we could sort of make it just a sort of more of a thumbnail. And again, we can shade that for a better representation. We had a number of PMI, product manufacturing information dimensions, 3D dimensions on the part itself. So to make life easier, I can just go and retrieve dimensions, and any that are placed on that sort of orientation, it will pull through. So that sort of cuts down some of the work that we will want to do. I may want to sort of position some of these. So you can sort of see that we can sort of move them around. I can change it to be a radial dimension. We've got handles on here to sort of position it. If I right mouse click and go into properties, for my radial dimensions, I prefer to have the text as horizontal. So if we come in here and change this to horizontal, that will then give me a nice orientation for that. Likewise, this one, I will make that a radial dimension, and I can go in and use a smart dimension, create a dimension on here. So we'll make that 11, this one 5, this one 8, and we'll just pull this one off as well. And then I can go into the copy attributes. I want to copy the style, so I want to copy from there, change that one, and bring them all nice horizontal. Also, I've noticed that this one's getting lost in the dimension line, so we can actually just pull them out. Don't want to see that one, and then if I want to, I can use the arrange dimensions, and that will just sort of respace them for me quite nicely. And then it's just a matter of going through and adding in any extra dimensions that you may have. When you're placing dimensions, try and avoid the key points, because that will tend to give you a false dimension if it's picking up off something else. So just be careful how you select those, and you'll see that we've sort of got to a point there where we're ready to sort of go. So hopefully that sort of shows you a good process on creating a number of parts and assembling them.